This is Sonic, and you're watching JD Frank 20.
What's up, everyone? And I got plenty of Sonic news. And shoutouts to Sonami channel for all of this information right here. Started with a lot of these questions right here, and you're all going to be surprised at what the results are going to be. So obviously, let's start with a heavy hitter right now, and this involves classic Sonic games. All right. And here's one right here that a lot of you are going to enjoy. And it's probably not surprising, but Izuka is heavily implying that it's not a matter of if, but when we're going to get more classic Sonic games. And I'll read this article right here. Again, all this stuff, I'm going to leave screenshots so you can look at it for reference. Alright. Takashi Iizuka for Sonic Generations in a 3D world and 3D gameplay were created first. What we did in this game was to lock the camera so we could show the players the side view of the 3D adventure, so it focuses more on modern Sonic gameplay with a classic element as a side view. When you look at the controls, you will see it feels more like a modern Sonic game, having the feel of the classics. The team really wanted to make sure the classic Sonic gameplay remained intact and remain in Sonic Superstars, so that people who love a classic feel to it could be assured that they will find it in this new entry. Moving forward, when we do more classic Sonic games, we want to keep the classic feel alive. That is the fundamental difference between a side view and Sonic Generations. Absolutely. And to unleash, again, another reason why you made that shit take not too long ago, for a lot of you who don't know what I'm talking about. You know, I understand a lot of people may not like classic Sonic. That's understandable. You don't like that feel. You know, you're saying that Sonic Generations, you know, you're trying to use that as a way to prove your point compared to Sonic Superstars. Sonic Superstars is a brand new 2D or 3D game. Well, it's got 3D visuals, but you get the point. It plays like a classic Sonic game. It has that classic Sonic feel. Sega's not abandoning that concept. You know, so for a lot of you naysayers who want classic Sonic gone, not going to happen. In fact, they're already planning out more games after this. So get used to it, to a lot of you fucking detractors out there. And there are also metal versions of all the characters, including Amy. Kazuyuki Hoshino, who created Metal Sonic, is one of them who created them. Yeah, so this is really awesome right here. That they're going to include all the characters and metal form, because obviously in the trailer we saw metal Tails, which looks pretty cool. I understand a lot of diehard Tail Doll fans are not going to like that, but it is what it is. So that's pretty cool that all the characters have metal variants of themselves. That's pretty dope right there. Here's an interesting one about Sonic Superstars. Izuka stated that the game had been in development for 2.5 years. By the time Sonic Superstars was announced at Summer Games Fest, the game was already 70 to 80% complete. Was about 2.5 years ago, so we've been developing since the beginning of 2021. By that time it was announced at Summer Games Fest, the product was around, let's say, 75% complete, since that's in the middle of the border. You know, development was really fun until the last minute. However, I wanted to keep adding new things toward the end of the game, and debugging because difficult. Haha laughs, according to Nata Oshima. That's really interesting. Alright, that's interesting. So that's awesome right there. So we're talking 2021. So by the time we got to Summer Games Fest of 2021, what else was happening during that time? Sonic Frontiers was also in development at the same time, but that was, of course, by Sonic Team themselves. And the game was slated to come out in November of that year, but the game was heavily pushed back by 1 year. And Sonic Superstars was already in the works. However, I'm assuming it was called a different name back then after all the information I reported in past videos, where it wasn't called Superstars at that point. So Sega had a lot on their hand. Sega had pretty much the entire weight of the world in 2021, because you had Sonic Frontiers, a game that was either going to make it or break it for your franchise. It was one of those games where you either do good or die trying. And of course, you had this 2D classic Sonic game where you didn't even know what the fate of this game even is at that point. What do we do? Like, I'm assuming that Sonic Superstars was going to be their get-out-of-free jail card if Sonic Frontiers was going to be a commercial flop. Because I've heard stories that Sonic Adventure 3 was going to be their final resort if Frontiers wasn't well received. So think about that for a quick second. In the summer of 2021, you had Frontiers and Superstars in development at the same time. I understand you had a different studio working on it. That's understandable when you go behind the scenes. But that's interesting right there. The summer of 2021, you know, SEGA was really taking a big gamble with these two games, and they're both paying off big time when you fast forward 2 years later where we're at right now. So it's apparently that the skin you actually saw, basically the rabbit skin you've all been seeing is, apparently there are only 2 existing pictures of the prototype character because both pictures were slightly different from each other. According to Nata Oshima, Sonic was still in the prototype stage. It was a rabbit who first ran in the game because the scene wouldn't get excited of some kind of character. Izuka requested the rabbit be included in Superstars, and from my point of view, there were the only 2 paintings left in existence, and those 2 paintings were slightly different from each other. He laughs. It's that kind of character, but when it came out as a game skin, it was a rabbit skin and not Sonic, so I tried making a new rabbit for the animation, the pose, etc. I would be happy if I could pay attention at that point. So those 2 pictures are the only rabbit materials that exist in the world, and the design of those 2 slightly different. So I wonder if this part is better or this part is better. The rabbit skin of this work was completely while taking a compromise plan of the feeling, according to Izuka. And of course, Nata Oshima saying, I first received the order. I was told that the character was created by Mr. Oshima, so I could do whatever I wanted. And then I made a third rabbit to do this now. And now it's fixed perfectly. He laughs. Yeah, a lot of this is just interesting right here. Yeah, because a lot of people were really wanted to know the origins of the rabbit. Maybe some people new to the franchise don't know what the rabbit skin's about. They're maybe just saying, like, what does this have to do with Sonic? You got to go deep into the archives to realize what this is all about. It's basically Sonic's humble beginnings. This was a prototype before they went with the blue hedgehog. All right, let me know what y'all think. I got to go. Peace out.